Excellencies, the COVID-19 pandemic continues to wreak havoc around the world. As we close on 2021, the death toll has exceeded the 5 million mark. Millions of jobs have been lost, and an additional 120 million people fell into poverty. Mauritius has not been spared by this pandemic, even though my government has taken every possible measure to save lives and livelihoods. In March this year, we decided to enforce a full lockdown and close our airspace. At the same time, we organized scheduled flights between April and July to repatriate around 3,000 of our stranded nationals and residents. I would like to recognize the efforts of all our COVID warriors who are leading the battle from the front against an invisible enemy, putting their own lives at risk. With selfless courage and determination, they are saving lives. I seize this opportunity to pay my respects to those who have lost family members, friends, and colleagues this year. Excellencies, my government is committed to ensuring that COVID-19 vaccines reach the population. I must here reiterate our gratitude to the various countries and organizations which have assisted us in securing and procuring COVID-19 vaccines despite their scarcity. Today, more than 900,000 people in Mauritius are fully vaccinated out of the population of around 1.2 million, and we have already started administering the booster dose. We have also recently started vaccination of children between 12 and 15 years, which will further increase our overall vaccination rate. On 1st October 2021, we opened our borders, allowing fully vaccinated tourists to enter Mauritius under strict sanitary conditions. I am happy to announce that between 1st October and 15th of December, around 175,000 arrivals were recorded. We hope that our strong vaccination campaign will boost the tourism sector and contribute towards economic recovery. Excellencies, it is most unfortunate that many developing countries, especially in Africa, are far behind the target of 40% vaccination rate by end of 2021. Mauritius remains committed to the strengthening of healthcare resilience and innovation in Africa. Our vision is to contribute towards reducing our dependency on global supply chains and improve access to vaccines and other therapeutics for all African countries. We strongly believe in vaccines and therapeutics equity and call for an early conclusion of the discussions at the WTO on the TRIPS waiver proposal in this regard. Excellencies, whereas COVID-19 has posed serious challenges towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030, this has not shaken our resolve to build back better. In this regard, we have created favorable conditions for the development of the biotechnology and pharmaceutical sector in Mauritius. We look forward to the assistance and cooperation of our partners in setting up this new pillar for our economy. We are also investing in innovative projects such as the Côte d'Or Data Technology Park, which we expect will contribute to give a boost to the post-COVID recovery. As a small island developing state, Mauritius will continue to advocate for the strengthening of multilateralism and international cooperation to fight global challenges such as pandemics and to strategize for sustained recovery. Climate change is one of these global challenges which affect all countries. However, for SEEDS, it is no less than an existential threat. At the COP26 in Glasgow, Mauritius underlined the damage global warming and rising sea level are causing to low-lying islands in particular. Predictable funding to address mitigation and adaptation is an absolute necessity. SEEDS remain the most vulnerable, yet the least polluting countries. The international community must live up to its commitment and duty to provide us with the necessary resources to fight climate change. Excellencies, I wish to inform you that Mauritius has submitted its candidature to various international organizations, such as International Telecommunication Union Council and the UNESCO Executive Board for the term 2023-2027. Mauritius will also stand as a candidate for a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council for the term 2035-2036. In this respect, I rely on your continued support. Excellencies, from the international trade perspective, 2021 has been an exceptional year for Mauritius with the coming into force of 4 trade agreements. The Mauritius-China Free Trade Agreement, the UK Eastern Southern Africa Economic Partnership Agreement, the Comprehensive Economic Cooperation and Partnership Agreement with India, as well as the start of trade and the African Continental Free Trade Area, marked a milestone in our endeavor to nurture and strengthen trade and economic relations with friendly countries. The successful holding of the Trade Policy Review of Mauritius by the WTO this year is a recognition of the effective economic reforms undertaken by Mauritius to facilitate trade. The coming year will be marked by an overhaul of our innovation framework as we move to implement the new industrial property legislation, which will encompass a package of measures that will render our intellectual property system more responsive to research, development, and innovation. Excellencies, fostering regional cooperation has been and will remain a key priority of my government. Our membership to the African Union, SADC, COMESA, IOC, and the IORA has played a vital role in expanding our economic space. Development of the ocean economy, which is high on government's agenda, also features prominently on the regional strategy. I wish to share with you that Mauritius will organize the 3rd edition of the Ministerial Conference on Maritime Security next year, and we look forward to your fruitful participation. Whilst maintaining and strengthening our bilateral relations with our traditional partners, our friendship with Arab countries has grown significantly over the course of this decade, leading to the recent opening of a Consulate General of Mauritius in Dubai. My government will continue to enhance its cooperation with Arab countries through cultural, tourism, trade, and other exchanges. We are also availing of the unique opportunity offered by the Dubai Expo 2020, which is being held until 31st of March 2022 to to showcase Mauritius as an ideal tourist, investment and trade destination. The Mauritius Pavilion has already attracted more than 180,000 visitors. Excellencies, with regard to the Financial Action Task Force list of jurisdictions under increased monitoring, I must state that Mauritius has demonstrated its unflinching commitment to the FATF process. We ensured that the FATF action plan is completed ahead of schedule. As a result of our efforts, the FATF removed Mauritius from the list at its October 2021 plenary and welcomed the significant progress made by Mauritius in improving its anti-money laundering, combating the financing of terrorism regime. Further to the delisting of Mauritius from the FATF list, the United Kingdom removed Mauritius from its list of high-risk countries on 2nd of November 2021. We are now expecting at any moment that Mauritius will exit the EU list of high-risk third countries. I express our appreciation to all our partner countries for their continued support during the whole process. Excellencies, coming to the Chagos Archipelago, I am sure you have all followed the developments at the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea. The judgment delivered by a special chamber of the tribunal on 28th January 2021 on the preliminary objections of Maldives in the maritime delimitation case constitutes another very significant step in our struggle to complete the decolonization process of Mauritius. In that judgment, the special chamber held that the authoritative determinations made by the International Court of Justice in its advisory opinion of 25th February 2019 have legal effect, thereby confirming the undisputed sovereignty of Mauritius over the Chagos Archipelago. The special chamber will now proceed to delimit the maritime boundary between Mauritius and Maldives in the region of the Chagos Archipelago. Another important development happened at the Universal Coastal Congress in August this year, during which a resolution was adopted by an overwhelming majority for the Universal Coastal Union to fully implement United Nations General Assembly Resolution 73/295. We look forward to other specialized agencies of the United Nations taking similar actions. Let me emphasize that we will relentlessly spare no effort to achieve the complete decolonization of Mauritius and fully exercise our sovereignty over the Chagos Archipelago. We have amended our criminal legislation to make provision for severe penalties for misrepresentation of the sovereignty of Mauritius over that part of its territory. I would like to reiterate our offer in respect of the continued operation of the defense facility in Devi. We express our deep appreciation for the support which large majority of states continue to extend to us as we pursue our decolonization process. Before concluding, I would like to pay homage to the memory of world figures who made a mark on history and who passed away this year. We lost successively Didier Ratsinak, former President of Madagascar, Kamal El Ganzouri, former Prime Minister of Egypt, His Royal Highness Prince Philip, Kenneth Kaunda, former President of Zambia, Jovenel Moïse, former President of Haiti, Abdelaziz Bouteflika, former President of Algeria, and most recently, Archbishop Desmond Tutu. In Mauritius, we mourn the death of Samuel Jugnauth, who will be remembered as the father of the Mauritian economic miracle and a world-recognized statesman. Excellencies, in these challenging times, we value so much your contribution in further cementing the bilateral relations with your respective countries. We therefore look forward to again fully engage with all of you in the course of the coming year. Finally, I wish to convey to your Excellencies and your respective families, and through you, to your respective governments, my best wishes for a safe and healthy New Year. Thank you.
We would like to congratulate the government of Mauritius for the way they are handling the COVID situation in the country. The government of Mauritius had put tremendous efforts in protecting lives first, while simultaneously ensuring supply chain of commodities and meeting the challenges of the financial services sector. Furthermore, the timely decision to open the borders in October rejuvenated the tourism sector, which had been significantly impacted by the pandemic. The COVID-19 response in Mauritius benefited from strong leadership and highest political engagement. A high-level COVID-19 committee chaired by the Prime Minister was instituted on 31st January 2020 to monitor the local and international epidemiological situations and to rapidly share key information among the different ministries. Many countries have provided assistance to Mauritius by donating several consignments of vaccines and other materials to support the country in its fight against COVID-19. The diplomatic missions and the United Nations agencies in Mauritius have played a vital role in coordinating with their home countries for timely interventions in this regard. On behalf of the Diplomatic Corps, I would like to express our deep appreciation to the Mauritian government, especially to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Regional Integration and International Trade for arranging vaccination for the members of the Diplomatic Corps and their family. We will continue with this happy tradition of regular interaction among us all. As the Diplomatic Corps, we are confident in our ability to join together, and I'm sure our collective efforts will pave the way to building sustainable societies in the world. I also wish all of you a very happy New Year 2022. Monswe Jod Tulape Ela Prosperity. Merci. Once again, thank you, Honorable Prime Minister and your team.